Okay. So like so far we have created all these four objects, four custom objects: hiring manager, candidate, customers, and the positions. Okay. But we have not created any fields inside this. And all of them are having this standard field, the name, ID, owner created by last modified by, all of them are having the standard fields only. Now is the time to learn how to create the fields, how to create the custom fields inside the object. We are following this document, we are following this document, and then according to this document, something called as interface detail or the requirement, or that, the sometime it is called as the user story. So there are so many names for this document. It all depends, company to company. It actually differs. Every organization have its own kind of terminologies. But then it's more important to understand what is there inside the document rather what's the name of the document. Okay. So we are following this document, and everything whatever we are creating it according to this document. So likewise, we have created this hiring manager and the candidate and the position object. Then we have also learned, then we can create this objects as well as fields right now what we are going to create. So we can do this with the standard navigation, even with the schema builder also. And then you have identified whenever we create any object, whenever we create any object with the schema builder. So what we have identified is that object is going to be created, object is going to be created, but then the tab is not going to create it. If we create anything from the schema builder, that object is going to be created. I think we have created this candidate object, or maybe the position, I don't exactly remember. But then among of these three, one object we have created with the schema builder. And then we have observed that, the object was created, the tab was not created. So we additionally required to go with that navigation to create the tab. The navigation we have already discussed, so we additionally go and create the tab for this. Now we are going to create the fields inside all these objects. We are going to create this field, this many fields inside this. What's this? This one is the candidate object. Okay, and then we are going to create these many fields inside the position object. So again, there are two techniques for this. Again, there are two techniques. One is the standard navigation. The second is the schema builder. So what are the ways to create the custom fields? There are two ways you can do with the standard navigation. We can do this with the schema builder also. So inside the hiring manager, let me go with the standard navigation. I'm going to create all these fields inside the hiring manager object. I'm going to create all these fields, and I'm going to follow the standard navigation for this. So I'm going to follow the standard navigation for this. Okay, let's see. So what is that navigation? Let me once again discuss with you guys. Karan, Shubham, guys, please mute yourself whenever you join. Whenever you join, please take care of your mic. Yeah. So what I was saying. Again, Karan, can you please mute yourself? I'm muting you. You are unmuting yourself. Please do it. Thank you. So this is the navigation. If you want to create the fields inside the object, this is the navigation what you need to follow. So go to that particular object, in which object you want to create the field. So let me first, do the same thing. Let me go to this hiring manager. So now I'm into the hiring manager object. Next is what? Okay, expand the force.com quick access menu, and then, click on the link. There's a link called as view fields. In front of the view field, there is a link called as new fields. But if you click the view field, if you click the view fields, you will go to the one page. On that page, you need to go and select this custom fields and the relationship section. But eventually, I will tell you how to skip all this. How to skip all these 3 to 4 steps. Then we will select the data type. We will select the next what is that? This the entire navigation we are going to see. Don't worry. मैं ऐसा step by step ऐसा theory पढ़ के नहीं पढ़ाता हूँ. मतलब this is not my way. I usually write everything over here, and then the same thing I used to follow in the practicals. So let me go with this force.com quick access menu and see what are the other things what we have written over. So yes, let's go to the object first. Inside the hiring manager, I'm supposed to create the few fields. So just expand the force.com quick access menu. Now see, if you bring your cursor on this view fields, in front of you, there is an option called as new. It's better to go with this. It's really better to go with this for creating a new field. But first, I will try it with this view fields. Then we see what's the advantage what we get if we click on this new. You know, there are 2 to 3 steps that reduces. See, when you click on this view field, when you click on this particular view field, one page is going to be open like this. This is the page. So you are into the hiring manager object, and then you can see all of the fields. There are a few more sections. Like, you know, inside the standard field, you can see all of the standard fields. When we create the object, these many standard fields apart from the ID also. You know, along with the ID, these many standard fields are created. Then inside the custom fields and relationship, you know, this is the area. This is the section where all your custom fields are going to be listed out. But then the list is blank because we have not created any custom fields so far. And so whatever we are going to create, they are eventually is going to be listed out over here only. Okay. Then this is related lookup filters, validation rules. If you have created any triggers, what is the default page layout? There are so many things. There are so many sections over here. You know, there are so many sections over here. If I have written it over here, ki after clicking on this view fields, now go to the custom fields and the relationship section. Go to this particular section called as custom fields and the relationship. How you are going to, how you are going to see where is that custom fields and relationship section. One way is to that, scroll it down and then identify this section. This is the first way. This is the one way that you just scroll it down, and then, out of all these sections, these many sections are present on this particular page. Try to see where this custom fields and relationship section is there. एक तरीका तो ये है कि just scroll it down below the pages, and by looking into every section name, this is field set, this is compact layout, this is search layout, this is button links and actions, and then record types, apex sharing, everywhere. Just by looking into the name of every section, by reading it out, we can identify, now we need to go with the custom fields and relationship section. This is the one way, and that is the worst way. Why? Because every section name has been written in the top itself with the hyperlink. If you want to go with the validation rules, just click on this section. If you want to go to the custom field section, just click on this section, and you eventually landed on here. So, instead of doing like this, the scrolling, don't do that. Please don't do that. It doesn't look good. If your manager is, observing, if your TL is observing you, and you are making this childish behavior in front of it, it's really don't good. You have all this option over it. Try to use the options. If you want to go to the field compact layout, just click on the compact layout, and you are going to land it on this particular. So that is why on every page, almost on every page, whenever it's partitionized into several sections, a Salesforce has given you all this link on the top of the page itself. It has given you the link. So with the help of this, navigate yourself to whatever section you want to go. Just click on this custom fields and section and press this new button. Press this new button, and then it will ask you for the data type. Before selecting the field, before creating the field, you must learn data type. That is why we have learned all that, only that 19 data type we have learned. That is why before creating a field, it will first ask you what kind of data type you want to create the field. What kind of data type you want to create the field. That is what, So see, this is one way, this is one way to do this. This is one way, once you expand this post.com quick access menu, and then by clicking on this view fields, you eventually going to land it on this particular page. You eventually going to land it on this particular page. Give me a second. Yeah, so once you click on this, you are going to land it on this particular page, and then you need to click on this new button. So it's a little bit lengthy navigation. Let me show you some shortcut for this. Let me show you some shortcut for this. So instead of, once you expand this force.com quick access menu, now please don't click on this. Please don't click on this view field. Instead of clicking on here, you want to create a new field. That is what, you want to create a new field. Just go with this link, new. Inside the view fields, if you see in front of the view field, there's an option to create a new field. Directly click on here also, and you are going to land on this particular. Chaliye. So what we are doing, we are creating some fields inside the hiring manager. What kind of field? We are following one document for this. This is the document what we are following. Okay. So the first field I need to create is the contact number. This is the first field I need to create. What is the data type? The data type is what? Data type is phone. Whether the field is mandatory, yes, we need to make this to be the mandatory. We need to make this to be the mandatory. I'm telling you about one interview question regarding here. First of all, let me create the field. So we are creating a field called as contact number. This is the name of the field. The data type for this field is phone. So from this particular list, from this particular list, Yes. From this particular list, we need to select the data type first. You know, the data type. Data type is what? Data type is phone. So let me select the phone from here. Let me select the phone from here and then press the next button. Then press the next button. Give me a second, guys. I'll back in a 5 minutes. Yes. So after selecting the data type, after selecting the data type, this is the second page. And here you need to write down the entire details. What is your field name, then API name, whatever. Okay. So the field name, what we are going to create is phone or now contact number. Let me just copy this and paste it over here. Contact number. And as soon as I was here, I pressed my tab. So if I press the tab from the keyboard, this field name, something called as API name, field name, API name. What is this? We are going to learn. So don't worry. This is going to be created automatically. Okay, automatically created. If you want to give any description, any help is that you can give. I usually skip this step. Now, one more thing has been written inside the IDD. We want to make it mandatory. We want to make it a required field. Let me first make it required, and then we will see what exactly is the field which is required, which field is not required. Let me make this to be no. Okay, let me make this to be it's not mandatory. So let me make this to be the not mandatory step. Okay. So if it is, you want to make it a field to be the mandatory, if you want to make it the field to be the required, then click on this particular checkbox called as required. So it will indicate, itself which has been written, always require a value in this field in order to save the record. So whenever whenever we create such kind of field and we click this checkbox to be the required during the creation of the field, there's a checkbox called as required. And if we click this, and if we click this, so this field becomes to be a mandatory field. And how does mandatory fields look like? Take lete hain abhi, chalo, aage chalo. Bas, this is the only selection. That's it. And click on the next button. Make it visible for every profile user. Just cross verified. Yes, every profile user has been checked. Make it next. And let it be land on the default page layout. What's the page layout? We are going to see this also. And then just save this. Just save this. So now we have created one custom field. See, inside the custom field section, now one name has been listed out. Previous to this, it was blank. This list was completely blank. Now we have one field inside this. We have one field, one contact number. Now let me go to the object and see what we have created. So if I go to this new, previously it was only having this field new. Now it is having one more field called as contact number. See, so we have added one custom field called as contact number. Just we have added one custom field. Now let me go with the same navigation. Go to this view fields, just and press this new. The second, we want to create HR email ID. Whose data type is what? Data type is email. Let me just copy this. HR email ID. Let me just copy this HR email ID field. And the data type is what? Data type is email. So first of all, let me select the data type to be email from here. Email. Just click on the email and select this next button. Give the field label, give a name. The name is HR email ID. As soon as you press your tab, this field name is automatically going to be created. So whether it's a required field, let me once again cross verify. No, it's not required. I make some changes. Why? Because I want you to identify here what's the difference between a mandatory, a required, and a non-required field. Okay. So for the email, I'm not making this to be the required one. Okay. I'm making it to be the optional. Okay. I'm not clicking this checkbox. Neither I'm making it to be a unique. I'm not making it to be the unique. और मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ बस with all this default selection I'm just clicking this next button. Now because it's not mandatory, that is why you need to make it visible for every profile user. For every profile user you need to make it visible and then press the next button. Let it be landed on the default layout. Apart from this layout कहाँ जाता है वो हम बाद में सीखने वाले हैं. So let me save this. And so we have created one more field. We have created one more custom field called as HR email ID. HR email ID. Let me close this, go to this user interface. Presently we can see only one field. Let me now refresh this. So we have added one more field over here called as HR email ID. Now see the differences, see the differences between A mandatory field, a required field have this symbol, a red line, and a non-required field doesn't have this. So this obviously means that if you want to save something over here, you compulsory need to enter the name. This is what required. You compulsory need to enter the contact number. This is also required, and this is something which is optional. Either you can enter it, either you can don't enter it. This really up to you. This is an optional field. This one is an optional field. So in the optional field, if you want, you can enter the value. Otherwise, you can keep it blank. Leave it, and just you can also save this. For every compulsory, field, for every required field, every mandatory field, you all required to enter something over here. Otherwise, you Salesforce won't allow you to store the data record this inside this. If I try to see, let me show you that also. If I try to store anything, if I try to store anything inside this compulsory field without writing anything, what happens? See here, save. Error. Salesforce is giving me error. Okay, let me try to give some name over here. And the name is Tripathi. Let me don't give any email ID over here. Now let me try to, I have entered one name, but I don't enter all this. Let me try to now save this. Again, it's asking for the contact number. Now let me try to enter this contact number. Let me don't enter this HR email ID once again. Let me try to save it. See, data is saved. Why? Because you're without entering the HR email ID, even you can store the data, because this one is an optional field. This one is an optional field. Now there's one question they will ask you this in the interview of the admin. Please write down this question, and it's there in the interview questions also. What are the different ways to make a field to be required? What are the different ways? What are the different ways that this one, question number 18. See, what are the different ways to make a field to be required, a mandatory field? What are the different ways to make a field to be the mandatory field? Okay, so they could ask you this question in the interview. So basically, there are 4 ways. There are 4 ways to make a field to be the mandatory field. Write down the first point for this. The first point is there are 4 ways. Periodically I'm going to give you the answer. Right now I'm giving you the first point. The first point is, during the creation of any field, whenever you create any field, there's a checkbox called as required checkbox. Let me show you that. Let me create the third field. That is HR ID, and the data type is auto number. Data type is auto number. So let me select this auto number field from here and go to the next. So whenever you create any field, अब यहाँ तो नहीं आएगा because ये auto number था. There is a checkbox called as required. There's a checkbox called as required. If you click that checkbox, required checkbox. If I select anything apart from this, let me go back to the selection and let me try to make this to be the email or any number like that. So whenever at the time of creating a field, there is a checkbox called as required. If you click that checkbox, that particular field becomes a required or mandatory field. Okay, this is the first way. There are 3 more ways to do this. Actually, there are 4 ways. Altogether there are 4 ways by which we can make a field to be the mandatory field, by which we can make a field to be the required field. So this is the first point. Okay, during the creation of that particular field, there is a checkbox called as required. Now, what happens if you click this checkbox? That field becomes a mandatory field. So this is the first way. And later on, we are going to discuss other 3s also. Okay. Later on, we are going to discuss other 3 also. Yes. So yeah, let me go back to this. What we are creating third field whose data type is auto number. Let me once again select this auto number. Go to the next. What is the label? Let me refer the document for this. The label is HR ID. HR ID is the label. Let me copy this. What's the display format you want? So display format I should look like, I'm selecting this. An example has been given like A dash in this flower bracket, in this curly bracket, it's like 0, 0, 0, or maybe 0, 0, or 40 or 00, or simply 0, 1, whatever the display format. Okay. HM stands for hiring manager. That is what a short form I have given. This is user defined something. Okay, yeah, user defined value. You can select anything, HR, ID, anything, H dash, whatever. But the format should be like this one. Format should be like this. Anything dash curly bracket, anything curly bracket. That is what the format. Now, what you want to be the starting number? Because I have selected 4-digit number. I have selected 4-digit number. My first record is going to get this number. So compulsory I need to give any number. Either I can start it from the 0 itself, or rather I can start it from the Z1 itself. Okay. So for the first record, I'm giving this number 001. Now, do you want to generate the number for existing records also? I mean, inside the hiring manager, it could be possible that there are few records. Yes, one Ram Kumar record is there. If I open this Ram Kumar, presently the Ram Kumar doesn't have any ID. Ram Kumar doesn't have any ID. So do you want this number to be allotted for the existing record? I want to do that. That is why I'm clicking this. That is why I'm clicking this. Now make this selection, go to the next button. Make it visible for every profile user, then click on the next button and then save it. So generating the auto number for the existing record, read this, generating the auto number for the existing record may take few minutes. It all depends on how much record you already have. We don't have any record, it's only one record, it's a matter. So I think as soon as I click OK, it's going to create the number. Don't worry. But yes, if you have so many records, I mean, if you have thousands of the record already there inside the object, for generating the auto number for all of them, it's really going to take few times, and you need to wait for that. Abhi to aisa kuch bhi nahi hai, it's hardly take me 1 second hardly it's take to generate the auto number. And so now one more field has been added, HR ID. Let's go to the hiring manager. Let's click on this hiring manager. Yeah, let's click on this hiring manager. So we have all these two records with us, hiring manager Ram Kumar and this Shende. If I open this Ram Kumar, see this HR ID, usko ek naya mil gaya HR ID, jiska starting format ye HM plus 001. Now if I go to this, if I go to once again hiring manager, let me open the second record Shende. The Shende is having this HM002. So see 001 ke baad 002 kaise aaya? Apne aap aaya. And that is what the feature of auto number. It is always incremented by 1. Always incremented by 1. If they ask you this question in the interview, can we make it to be incremented by 2, 3, 4? With the auto number, it's not possible. You cannot override this functionality. But with the triggers, it is possible. Yes, we can do that with the triggers. With the development part, with the customization, we can do that. With the feature of configuration, with the feature of auto number, you cannot. You always make it, this field is always incremented by 1 only. If apart from the 1, we want to make it to increment it by 2 or 5 by a 10, yes, we can do that, but not with the auto number. We can do with the triggers. ऐसा कुछ भी जो यहाँ पर डेवलपमेंट की फंक्शनैलिटी से एक्सटेंड करना है, लेवरेज करना है, there is only one answer, trigger. There is only one answer, trigger. कुछ भी ऐसा है जो इसके आगे बढ़ना है, वो ट्रिगर से होगा. ठीक है, वो ट्रिगर से होगा, ध्यान रखो. तो एक ही है, सब चीज का आंसर एक ही है, और वो है अपेक्स ट्रिगर्स. सारी फंक्शनैलिटी जिसको भी एक्सटेंड करना है, ऑटो नंबर 1 से इंक्रीमेंट करना है, मेरे को 2 से करना है, मेरे को 5 से करना है, यस आई कैन डू दैट. कैसे? ट्रिगर्स, वन आंसर ट्रिगर. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. बहुत सारी चीजें और आप सीखने वाले, डोंट वरी. So yes, we have created one more. Now let me create a field called as location जिसका की data type है pick list. ठीक है, so let's create one more field. Let me close few tabs over here. Let me just expand and go to the view fields and create a new field. What kind of field? Pick list. Make multi-select में a simple plain pick list. Just select the pick list. Next, multi-pick list भी आने वाली है, so don't worry about that. You are going to select that also. Field label is location. Okay. What you want to have the values? You want to have a global pick list? No, I don't want that, because inside my IDT, these values already are there. These values are already there. I want to copy all of them actually. I only want these values. I don't want to have some sort of global values. So that is why I'm going with the second option. Enter the values with each value separated by a new line. That's essentially important. Each value should be separated by a new line. Here, how does it looks like? But how you need to enter? You need to enter like this. And you need to enter like this, Hyderabad. You need to enter like this, Hyderabad. And don't put comma. Chennai. And then Pune. Every value should be separated by one column, one separate line. This is how you need to enter. This is how you need to enter. Now, let me first remove this comma also from here, so that मैं जब copy करूँ तो मुझे आसानी हो जाए. Otherwise, जो मैं comma copy करूँगा तो वहाँ पे comma भी दिखेगा आपको. Remove all these commas from here. Save this. ठीक है. So this is how you are going to enter the pick list values. ठीक है. So this select this, enter the values. Now enter every value separated by a new line. So let's copy the first value to be the Hyderabad. Let me try to copy like this. No, it is not going to work. So I'm copying individual values from here. Let me have Hyderabad, press enter, go to the next line. Let's copy this Bangalore and then press enter for the new line. Let's copy this Chennai and yeah, copy paste. Let's go to the next line and then copy this Pune and then press the next line, press the enter. Go to the next line and then copy and paste Mumbai and then Nagpur and then press enter for the new line and then Delhi and then this Kochi. Yeah, so I have copied all these values over here. These are the values. These are the values that are going to be listed out inside the my pick list. Now, what you want? Do you want to display them alphabetically? Should it be sorted alphabetically or in the order what you have entered? I can make it sorted. That is why I'm selecting it from A, B, C to D. Sorry, A to Z. So it's always going to sorted in the ascending order. It's always going to sorted in the ascending order. Now in the interview, if they ask you this question, I want to display it in the descending order. Can you sort it in the descending order? Can you sort it into a descending order? Answer is yes. Yes, we can do that. But using what? Not here. Using what? Yes, using what? I can do that. Yes, I can do that. But using what? Sorry?
Apex trigger.
Apex triggers.
Trigger.
Apex triggers. Yes, everywhere when you want to leverage the functionality, there's only one answer. Ek goli har ilaj. Kya hai? Apex trigger. Okay. Presently, it's going to sort in the ascending order. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Do you want to use the first value as a default? I mean, the first value to be a default? No, I don't want that. वो भी होता है, वो भी दिखा दूंगा. आगे चलते हैं. You want to make it required? Do you want to make this pick list to be the required? Let me check with this document. In the document, it has mentioned there's no need to make this to be the mandatory, and so I'm making this pick list to be not to be the required, ठीक है. अब एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात बोल रहा हूँ ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए. ये मैं क्या क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ? आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ पिक लिस्ट. I am creating a pick list. I have an option here to make the pick list either required, either not required. I am creating a pick list. I am creating a pick list with standard navigation. I am creating a pick list with standard navigation. I can see one option to make this pick list to be the mandatory, to be the required or not. Just observe करने बोल रहा हूँ. Just observe करने बोल रहा हूँ. What you are doing? We are creating a pick list using what? Standard navigation. Using what? Standard navigation. And inside the standard navigation, we can see that we have this option. We have this option to create, to make a field, to make this pick list to be the mandatory. Okay. Okay. That's it. This is the observation. Observe it करने बोला है. Observe करने बोला है. Observation हो गया. Next. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Make it visible. Make it visible for every profile user. Click the next button. Make it to be land on the default page layout. Click the save button. One field is created. One field is created. One pick list field is created. Called as location. Let me see. Let me now go to the hiring manager. Let's go to the hiring manager. Let's press this new. And see, one pick list is created. Location. With all these values. And they are sorted. They are sorted. They are sorted alphabetically. Yes, the pick list is created. Okay. So yes, hiring manager object done. Hiring manager object done. We have created all these fields with the hiring manager using the standard navigation. Let me once again show you all these fields using the standard navigation only. Let me show you. For position field, we are going to follow the schema beta. Let me once again, go with the same navigation. Okay. So let's now go to the candidate object and whatever we have just learned. So try to create the field inside the candidate object also. So let me go to this candidate object. Let me close any other. And then inside, force.com quick access menu expand karo. And this within the view fields, you have this option to create a new fields that create the new. So the first thing you need to select is the data type. Or I'm going to create a field called as contact number. Data type is what? Phone. Data type is what? Phone. Okay, let me select the phone to be the data type. Phone. Click the next button. Give the label. The label is what? The label is contact number. Just press the tab and this field name is automatically going to be. Oh, whether it's a required or not, I need to check with the document. Yes, it's a mandatory. So click this checkbox, click the next button. Make it visible because it's mandatory, it's already visible. Next, let it be land on the default layout, save it. One field is created. One field is created. Now I want to create one another field. Click and go and click the next new button. What is the next field? Okay, Karan. What is the question? Yes. Yes, Karan. Yes, Karan. You have raised hand. That is why I'm pausing myself for you. Yes, Karan. What's your question? No question? Got it. ठीक है. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So a second field we need to create is the current CTC. Current CTC is having the data type to be the currency. So let me select the currency from here. Currency data type. Next. Field label current CTC. With this label I want to create. What is the length? 10 is 10 बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाती है. I think having 10 digit CTC is यही करोड़पति बना देगा. So yes, is this required or not? Let me once again check the document. No, it's not required. So keep it blank and press the next button. Visible. Next. Save. Now observe this. See, observe this. How I am creating this. Observe this. अभी मैं वो expand नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I'm creating from here. So कुछ भी हो, मैं यहाँ से कर रहा हूँ. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Just observe करो आप. I want to create expected CTC field. It's a mandatory. Yes. Type data type currency. First page. This is what? First page. On the first page, select the data type. Data type currency. First page. Go to next. Second page. Second page. Give the labels and rest of the other details. Rest of the other details. Decimal places? No. Required? Yes. Expected CTC is required. Third page. Make it visible for every profile user. Fourth page. Select the layouts. I want this to be land on the default. Fourth page. Save. Fifth. That's it. So whenever I create any field, I usually require to bounce from one page to a second, second to third, third to fourth. Creating a field, creating a single field involves me to bounce from at least 4 migrations I need to make. Okay. Observation. What I want you to observe this. Okay. I have few more fields left. Let me create this field called as email ID whose data type is email and it's a mandatory field. It's a mandatory field. Okay. Let's go. Now select the data type that goes to this. Select the new button. Select the data type to be the email. Go and press this next button. Give the label. Label is email ID. Yes, it's required field. Make it required. Click on the next button. Make it visible. By default, every mandatory is by default visible. So you can skip this or you can just cross verify, scroll it down and then click the next. Select the default layout and then press the save. Another field is created. Okay, another field is created. I want to create the location field. I want to create a location field. So pick list. It is not mandatory. Pick list, not mandatory. Okay. Let me click this new button. Pick list. This is the pick list. Press this next button. Location. Okay. Location. I want to enter the values by myself. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai, Nagpur, all these values, these are the values. Same values are there actually. So let me copy one by one every value. So Hyderabad, first value. Now press the enter and copy the second to be the Bangalore. And third is Chennai. Next is Pune, Mumbai, and then Nagpur, and then Delhi. Let's see. Okay. You want to display them alphabetically? Yeah, sure. I can display. Use the first value default. No, there's no need. Okay, there is no need. Whether it's required? Presently, it's not required, I think. No, it's not. It's not a required field. So yeah, keep it blank and press this next button. Next, make it visible for every profile user. Click the next button and save it. One more field is created. We have something left. Yeah, so many fields are left. Notice period. Again, a pick list value. New. Pick list. Select the data type to be the pick list and then press the next button. And then inside the label, just enter this notice period. I want to enter the value by myself. These are the values. Notice period. These are the values. Immediate. Let me copy this immediate. Press the enter. And then the next is what? 7 days notice period. And then 15 days notice period. The candidate, the position part. 15 days notice period. Just a second. Okay. ठीक है. 15 days. 15 days हो गया. Okay. And then 1 month. 1 month, and then 2 months, 2 months, and then 3 months. Okay, enter all this. Now you want to display alphabetically? No, I want to display in the same order, the order what I have decided. Use the first value as the default. Yes, I want to have this first value to be the default value. Okay, and required or not? As I can see, it's not mentioned, so it's not required actually. Just next. Make it visible and then next, save it. Yes, so we have created one more field. Now click this new button. What is the next? Next is PAN number. PAN number is having a data type of text up to the 10 value. It is mandatory. Yes, it is mandatory. Moreover, it is unique also. It's mandatory and unique. Let me have this. What is the text? So let me select the text from here. Now you are going to get the difference between text area long. ठीक है, तो field देख लो आप. Field से आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. Next. PAN number. ठीक है. Length is what? Length is 10. Because PAN number is having the length. Required, yes, it is required. Unique, yes, it is unique. Unique matlab you cannot have the duplicates value. Now duplicates में दो चीजें होती. Now treat capital ABC and small ABC as duplicate values. I mean case sensitive. यानी इसको और इसको अलग समझो. इसको और इसको अलग समझो. That is case insensitive. और ABC और small ABC को सेम समझो. तो यहाँ पर आता है कि case sensitive. ठीक है. So you can go with this case insensitive. I mean small a capital A को I want to have it one only. मैं एक ही समझता हूँ इसको. Small ABC capital ABC को अलग समझना है तो फिर आप ये ले सकते हो. तो पहले ही ऑप्शन के साथ जाते हैं. Make it next. PAN number visible है. Yes, visible है. Save it. Now one more object is created. One more field is created. Now if you want to see कि अपन क्या क्या create कर रहे हैं तो you can eventually go with the candidate object and press this new button. See ये सब हम create कर चुके हैं ना. Location, immediate. यहाँ पे देखो आप पहली वैल्यू यहाँ पे none लिख के आ रहा है. बट यहाँ पे फर्स्ट वैल्यू इज द फर्स्ट वैल्यू. ये फर्स्ट वैल्यू इज द डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू. तो ऐसा ये लिख के आते चला जाता है. एक एक फील्ड यहाँ पे क्रिएट होती चली जा रही है साइड बाय साइड. लेट मी फर्स्ट क्रिएट एनी बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी फील्ड्स. तो मैं पहले फील्ड क्रिएशन पे ध्यान दे रहा हूँ. पासपोर्ट नंबर इज अगेन अ टेक्स्ट. पासपोर्ट नंबर टेक्स्ट सिलेक्ट करो. मैंडेटरी तो नहीं है लेकिन यूनिक जरूर है, ठीक है। एंटर करना जरूरी नहीं, लेकिन अगर कोई एंटर करता है तो दो लोगों के पासपोर्ट एक जैसे नहीं होने चाहिए। सो लेट्स हैव दिस टेक्स्ट, अगेन डेटा टाइप इज टेक्स्ट, सिलेक्ट दिस एंड प्रेस दिस नेक्स्ट बटन। पासपोर्ट नंबर, ठीक है। लेंथ इज व्हाट, लेंथ इज 10, रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है लेकिन यूनिक है, ठीक है। एंड ट्रीट इट्स कैपिटल एबीसी स्मॉल एबीसी टू बी सेम। क्लिक दिस नेक्स्ट, make it visible for every profile user, whatever is not mandatory you need to additionally make it visible, ठीक है। और जो मैंडेटरी रहता है वो बाय डिफॉल्ट ही सेव हो जाता है, और बाय डिफॉल्ट ही वो विजिबल हो जाता है, ठीक है। वन मोर फील्ड इज क्रिएटेड, सी यहाँ पे अगर इफ आई रिफ्रेश दिस, पासपोर्ट नंबर इज गोइंग टू बी लिस्टेड आउट, सी हियर पासपोर्ट नंबर नॉट मैंडेटरी बट यूनिक जरूर है। आगे बढ़ते हैं, लेट्स क्रिएट वन मोर फील्ड। व्हाट इज द डेटा टाइप, दिस इज द क्वालिफिकेशन फील्ड, you know we have to create a field called as qualification, टाइप इज पिक लिस्ट, और ये सारी वैल्यूज के साथ क्रिएट करना है। data type is pick list, let me select this pick list from the data type, go and press this next button. Field label is qualification, I don't want to go with the global pick list, rather I want to enter the values from my side. The first value is BE/BTech, press enter, go to the next line. The second is BSc, enter. ME/MTech, enter. The next is MSc. Okay, apart from this nothing has been mentioned, so this is not required field. Next, make it visible and press this next button and press the save button. One more field is created. To refresh this, you got this pick list also, so qualification, all this value, okay. Let's go to here and then press this new button, create one more field, reference ID. What kind is auto number, so select this auto number from here, press this new button, reference ID, display format, ref id dash, और सिंपली ref, या id भी दिया तो भी चलता है। सो मैं प्रीवियसली क्या नाम, रेफरेंस id, ठीक है, with this name, 000 ऐसा। String length, starting number, making it to be the 001. So start generate auto number for the existing record also, and then press this next one. Make it visible, press this next, save it. So one more field is created, reference ID. यहाँ पे लिस्ट आउट नहीं होगा आपको, यहाँ पे नहीं, बिकॉज ये एडिट लेआउट है। एडिट लेआउट पे लाने के लिए पेज लेआउट कस्टमाइजेशन सीखेंगे आप, डिटेल लेआउट में आएगा, दिखाऊंगा मैं चलते। ऑटो नंबर फील्ड जो है कभी भी एडिट लेआउट पे नहीं आता। और कुछ बचा है क्या, हाँ दो चीजें बची, टेक्निकल स्किल्स पिक लिस्ट है लेकिन मल्टी सिलेक्ट पिक लिस्ट है, ओके। सो गो एंड प्रेस दिस न्यू बटन, नाउ सिलेक्ट द मल्टी सिलेक्ट पिक लिस्ट। अभी आप डिफरेंस देख लो, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पिक लिस्ट एंड द मल्टी सिलेक्ट पिक लिस्ट। नेक्स्ट, नाउ एंटर द वैल्यूज, ठीक है, एंटर द वैल्यूज। कौन सी वैल्यूज है, मल्टी, पहली अपेक्स, एंटर, सी, CPP और C++, .NET, Java, and then Salesforce. Okay, these are the values, ठीक है, ये कुछ values हैं। Okay, got it. Display them alphabetically? No. Use the first value default? नहीं चाहिए। How many lines you want to display? I want to display the 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ठीक है, 5 is sufficient. Okay. Required? Not required. Next. Make it visible for every profile user. Go and click the next button and save it. Save it. Save or new भी कर सकता हूँ, but I want you to remember this interfaces. That is why I am doing with this lengthy navigation. ठीक है, Now we have added one field over here. Let me show you that. See, this is how a normal pick list looks like. You need to select one value from here. But inside this, multi-select pick list, I can select more than one. I can select more than one, and just make it like this. So available and selected. तो दो पिक लिस्ट यहाँ पे बन जाती है इस तरह से. This is the difference between a singular pick list and a multi-select. ये होता है basically multi-select pick list. This is how it just looks like. What is next? Next is last field, a year of experience, and it's a number field. Year of experience is a number field. A number. Next, year of experience. 2 काफी है because that comes 0 to 99 years हो जाते हैं इसमें. Decimal places required नहीं, unique नहीं, कुछ नहीं. Just press the next button. Make it visible for every profile user, and that is the next. Let it be landed on the default page layout, and then go and save it. Go and save it. So now we have created all of the fields. All of the fields we have now created. Yes, we have now created all of the fields. Okay. Inside this candidate object. Okay. Chalo. Okay. Now let's go and see about the third object. Third object is the position. This time I'm going to create the fields using schema builder. Okay. This time I'm going to create the fields using schema builder. So how to create the field using schema builder? First of all, launch the schema builder. Go to the setup menu. Inside the build menu, you have this option to schema builder. Okay. You have this option schema builder. So let me first of all clear everything from here. Now I want to create these fields inside the position object. Okay. I want to create all these fields. Whatever I'm going to create, I want to create inside the position object. Using the schema builder, I want to create the fields, all these fields, all these fields. I want to create this inside the position object. Position object. So let's first of all, let me have the position object over here. Let me select for the position object. So position object, let me have this object on the canvas. Now what you want? I want to create few fields inside this. Now let's go to this element tab. Go to the element tab. What do you want? I want to create the fields. These are the fields, These many are the fields. These are the fields. All of these are the fields. Okay, these many are the fields. So now you need to make your selections. You need to make your selections. अब यहाँ पे observation चाहिए आपको. ठीक है, I want you to observe something. I want you to observe something. How I'm going to create the fields. How many navigations, how many bouncings, how many migrations from one page to another. ये सब आपको यहाँ पे observe करना है. ठीक है. Position name is a default field. As soon as I create this object, name is already created. Reference ID. What is it? It's an auto number. Auto number. P-001 is the starter. Okay, fine, no problem. Select the auto number. Auto number. Drag, drop. What is the label? Reference ID. Reference ID. Field name this. Okay. Auto number format P-000. Starting number 001. Generate auto number for the existing. I want to do that. Save it. Field saved. Created. Created. First field created. How many navigations? How many bouncings? No bouncings. I need to go from one page to another? No needed. Not needed. Okay. Yeah. Second, location name. Location name. Copy. Value is what? Pick list. Pick list and mandatory. Okay. Do it. Go and find the pick list. This is the pick list. Drag, drop. Label, location name. Location name. Values. Yeah. Now is the time to give the values. Values what? Hyderabad. Here also, enter the values separated by each in the new lines. Same concept. Hyderabad. Enter. Bangalore. Enter. Chennai. Enter. Pune. Enter. Mumbai. Enter. Nagpur. Entered. Delhi. Entered. Kochi. Okay, make it mandatory. Make it mandatory. Yes. Do we have any option in the schema builder to make the field, pick list field to be the mandatory? Yes. Do you see any option over here to make a field to be the mandatory field? Yes or no? Do you see
No.
any option? No.
No, sir.
No,
Write
sir.
down
No,
this.
sir.
Write down this. Write down this. If you want to make a field pick list to be the mandatory, go with the standard navigation. Create with the standard navigation. Because if you create the pick list using schema builder, there is no option in the schema builder to make the pick list to be the mandatory. I'm going to tell you the second way. Second way बताऊंगा मैं. But presently, you can see, if you want to make any pick list to be the mandatory pick list, create it from the schema standard navigation. Okay. There's no option direct. There's no direct option over here to make the pick list to be the mandatory using schema builder. Now let me save this.
Sir, I think in the last field we also didn't have the option.
I don't remember what you are talking. What field? What field? What field?
That reference ID, we have already made it.
A reference ID. Okay, don't problem.
Uh,
Reference ID also is auto
position.
number field. Yeah, auto number
Okay,
field.
okay.
वो वहाँ पे भी नहीं रहता है ना? ऑटो नंबर फील्ड वहाँ पर भी नहीं, यहाँ पर भी नहीं है. ऑटो नंबर फील्ड
Okay.
स्टैंडर्ड नेविगेशन में भी मैंडेटरी नहीं है, यहाँ भी नहीं है. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट्स अ सिस्टम जनरेटेड फील्ड. ऑटो नंबर फील्ड जो होता है ना, ये सिस्टम जनरेटेड होता है. इट्स नेवर मैंडेटरी. ये उधर भी नहीं है स्टैंडर्ड नेविगेशन में, आपको स्कीमा बिल्डर में भी नहीं. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ो. हाँ, नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट? नेक्स्ट इज द लोकेशन नेम हो गया है. नंबर ऑफ वैकेंसीज नंबर है और मैंडेटरी है. नंबर है, ड्रॉप किया. नंबर है, फील्ड नेम क्रिएट हो गया. ये क्या है? नंबर ऑफ वैकेंसीज 2 काफी है, बिकॉज 0 से 99 हो जाएगा. एंड इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. रिक्वायर्ड है, सेव किया. फील्ड क्रिएटेड. पोजीशन स्टेटस पिक लिस्ट है, ये सारी वैल्यूज हैं. सो सिलेक्ट द पिक लिस्ट, नॉट मल्टी सिलेक्टेड. पिक लिस्ट, ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप. ठीक है, वैल्यूज दीजिए. तो वैल्यूज हैं न्यू पोजीशन, press enter. Open and approved is the second. Press enter. In progress. In progress, press enter. And on hold. थोड़ा सा यही दिक्कत है यार कॉपी पेस्ट में. On hold and then recruited. Recruited and then closed. कल रात की बात बताता हूँ. कल रात में बताओ, अभी प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहा हूँ. एक्सेल शीट्स आई हैं. कुछ एक्सेल शीट के हिसाब से सेल्सफोर्स के अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑब्जेक्ट में कुछ फील्ड्स अपडेट करना था. कुछ मतलब अप्रोक्सीमेटली 150 फील्ड्स. और मुझे लिटरली ना कॉपी पेस्ट करना पड़ रहा था फील्ड. तो मतलब कभी कभी ये सिंपल सिंपल चीजें इतनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लगती है ना, कुछ देर बाद में यकीन बता रहा हूँ आपको, उंगलियां जाम हो गई थी और कॉपी पेस्ट ही नहीं हो रहा था मुझसे. मैंने ब्रेक लिया. मैंने कहा जाने दो. आज सुबह फिर मैं करीब 5 साढ़े 5 बजे उठ के फिर से वही काम किया. कभी कभी ना सिंपल चीजें भी ऐसा ना, एक थकान रात भर की, मतलब काफी देर से जगाई होती, फिर वो 11 साढ़े 11 बजे बैठ के आप जब कॉपी पेस्ट करो एक विंडो से दूसरा विंडो, दूसरे विंडो, परेशान हो जाता है इंसान. तो कभी छोटी मोटी चीजें भी नहीं होती आपसे. पिक लिस्ट, सेव इट. पोजीशन स्टेटस हो गया. अब है ओपन डेट. ठीक है, और इसका डेटा टाइप है डेट. सो यहाँ से डेट लीजिए. डेट एंड टाइम मत लीजिए, डेट लीजिए. डेट लीजिए. इवॉल्व दिस. रिक्वायर्ड है क्या? रिक्वायर्ड वगैरह कुछ नहीं. सेव इट. तो मेरे ख्याल कुछ चीजें अगर आप ऑब्जर्व कर रहे होंगे तो आपको ये समझ में आ रहा होगा कि क्रिएटिंग अ फील्ड फ्रॉम दिस इज क्वाइट फिजिबल, क्वाइट इजी टू क्रिएट द फील्ड. व्हाट इज माइलस्टोन? डेट है. डेट एंड मैंडेटरी भी. सो इट्स माइलस्टोन डेट एंड इट्स मैंडेटरी. तो क्रिएटिंग अ फील्ड फ्रॉम स्कीमा बिल्डर इज क्वाइट फिजिबल, है ना, काफी फिजिबल है. तो वी यूजुअली गो फॉर दिस. बट इसमें क्या ड्रॉबैक है अभी समझ में आएंगे. ऑब्जेक्ट लेवल पे आपने देखा कि आप जब ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करते तो टैब क्रिएट नहीं होता. तो मैंने पोजीशन ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट तो किया था, टैब एडिशनली क्रिएट किया था, बट ये क्रिएशन बहुत इजी था, इसलिए हम स्कीमा बिल्डर यूज करते हैं. अभी फील्ड के लिए भी स्कीमा बिल्डर ही यूज करते हैं ज्यादातर. ठीक है, और कुछ चीजें जो फिर आपको उससे करनी है तो वो आपको बताया मैंने, जैसे आप कोई पिक लिस्ट बना रहे हो जिसकी वैल्यू मैंडेटरी करनी है तो वो आपको स्कीमा बिल्डर से नहीं मिलेगा, आपको स्टैंडर्ड नेविगेशन से जाना पड़ेगा। तो ऐसी कुछ चीजें हैं जो दोनों चीजें आपको पता होना चाहिए। चलिए, मिनिमम बजट फील्ड करेंसी है, सो करेंसी सिलेक्ट करिए यहाँ से। रिक्वायर्ड शायद नहीं है, रिक्वायर्ड नहीं, सेव इट एंड देन मैक्सिमम बजट करेंसी। अब यहाँ देखो एक चीज और है, यहाँ पे सब आइकन्स वगैरह भी रहते हैं थोड़े बहुत, कभी कभी ना ये भी एक इजी हो जाता है। करेंसी का एक अपना अलग आइकन है, डेट का अलग है, टाइम का अपना अलग आइकन है, तो कहीं ना कहीं सिलेक्शन थोड़ा सा आसान होता है। तो ये भी एक फायदा है जो आपको स्कीमा बिल्डर पे मिल जाता है। स्टैंड एंड इट्स मैंडेटरी, yes it is mandatory, so we always require a value in this, so save it। डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज भी आप देख सकते हो बट अपनी केस में डिफॉल्ट जैसा कुछ है नहीं। और नेक्स्ट इज एचआर ईमेल आईडी, और डेटा टाइप है ईमेल जो कि है मैंडेटरी। select this email, label required, nothing else, just save it। how simple is to create, how feasible is to create any field using this schema builder, the phone, लेट मी सेलेक्ट द फोन। और इसी के लिए आप देखो आपको 4 बार नेविगेट होना पड़ता था, है ना, 4 बार नेविगेट होना पड़ता था एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे। हाउ सिंपल इज टू गो विद द स्कीमा बिल्डर, दैट इज व्हाई दिस इज द फर्स्ट चॉइस ऑफ एवरी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर to create everything, object, field, everything from the schema builder। travel required is a checkbox, but what are the drawbacks, let me show you that also। drawbacks भी हैं इसमें, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं सब चीज सब कुछ आसान नहीं है। चेक और अनचेक चाहिए, आई वांट इज टू बी द अनचेक। travel required, passport required, again a checkbox। checkbox, checkboxes का internal data type booleans होता है। these all are primitive data type। ये क्या होते हैं primitive, क्या होते हैं object, we are going to learn in the development में, सब पढ़ेंगे अच्छे से, अभी तो हमारे सब चीजें सिंपल ही हैं। टेक्स्ट एरिया लॉन्ग, अब देख लो डिफरेंस, देख लो आप, टेक्स्ट एरिया लॉन्ग, टेक्स्ट एरिया रिच के बीच में क्या डिफरेंस है। सो पोजीशन डिस्क्रिप्शन आई एम टेकिंग इट टेक्स्ट एरिया लॉन्ग, लॉन्ग टेक्स्ट एरिया। visible lines 5, set। then text area rich, skills required, text area rich, rich text area। हाँ, एक मजेदार बात बताऊं, एक स्टूडेंट ने मेरे से एक सवाल पूछा था, सर ये जैसे मैं यहाँ पे कुछ ऐड करता हूँ तो वो ऐसा बॉटम ऑफ द लिस्ट में जाने पे मेरे को तकलीफ हो रही, मतलब मुझे जैसे अगर ये बड़ा है तो मुझे नीचे कैसे डालना पड़ता, समझा नहीं मैं पहले तो। बोले सर मैं ये फील्ड ऐड कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे ऐसे नीचे डालना पड़ रहा है तो यहाँ पे आ जा रहा है। मैंने कहा आपको नीचे डालने की जरूरत क्या है, बोले सर वो लास्ट में आता है। ये कौन सी बात है यार, आप इसको यहाँ पर कहीं भी ड्रॉप करो, कहीं भी ड्रॉप करो, ये कुछ नहीं है ऐसा कि आपको नीचे जाना पड़ेगा, आप कहीं भी ड्रॉप कर दो उसको, ऐसा नहीं है कुछ भी। हाँ, तो छोटे मोटे कंफ्यूजन भी होते हैं कभी कभी, ऐसा नहीं है, होते हैं। तो राइटिंग प्लान काफी सही, ठीक है, डन, done। So we have created all these fields। Now is the time to go and verify, go to this position object। how many fields we have created, we have almost created 15 fields, you know, 15 fields we have created, 15 fields, okay। so if you write this difference, you know, if you write this difference between creating an object or maybe a field using standard navigation schema builder, sorry, object creation में there is only one difference, you can create the object using schema builder, object is going to be created, tab is not going to be created, ठीक है। अगर आप फील्ड पे जाते हो कि फील्ड क्रिएशन, अभी हमने फील्ड किया, तो द फर्स्ट पॉइंट व्हाट यू कुड राइट, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन क्रिएटिंग अ फील्ड यूजिंग स्टैंडर्ड नेविगेशन एंड द स्कीमा बिल्डर। तो पहला डिफरेंस जो आप लिख सकते हो वो ये कि इट इज मोर इजी, इट इज मोर feasible, and it is less time consuming। why? because on the same canvas, on the same page, we can create the number of fields on the same page, and we don't require to, you know, go from one page to another page, we don't require to make some bouncings from one page to another just for one creating a field, at least 4 bouncings लग रही थी, और यहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, तो it's a little bit, you know, time consuming नहीं है ये, और ये पहला पॉइंट है। दूसरा पॉइंट है कि हाँ, if you are creating a pick list and if it's a mandatory, so the, you know, what is advisable to go with the standard navigation, because in the standard navigation you see that checkbox required for the pick list, here you cannot see this was the point number 2। now point number 3, point number 3, We have created 15 fields. Now go to the object and see how much of there are. Go to this position object. Press the new button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 15, only 5 fields are there. How could be this possible? How could be this possible? Because when I created the field using standard navigation, I have created altogether 12 fields inside the candidate. And if I go to the candidate object, if I go to the candidate, I can see all 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can see all 12 fields over here. Whatever I have created is present over. But when I come to this position object, out of 15 fields that I have created, I can only see 5 fields. 5 fields. 5 fields what? 5 mandatory fields. That's it. Whatever the fields which are optional, which are not required, they are eventually not present on this particular. Initially, they are not present on this page. Drawback. Write down point number 3. Whenever we create any field using schema builder, whenever we create any field using schema builder, if it is required, if it is a mandatory field, it is initially going to be appear, it is initially going to be landed, it is initially going to be the present on the page layout. Whatever you want, you can write. And all the optional field, they are initially not present on this page layout. All the non-required field, all non-mandatory field, they are not seen, they are not present, they are not landed on this particular page layout. On this particular page layout. Now, how to bring all those 15 fields? How to bring all those 15 fields? How to bring all those 15 fields over here? How to bring all those 15 fields? That is what we are going to learn with the next topic called as page layout customization. So up to this, you need to complete this weekend. Today is a Friday. So on coming Monday, Monday evening, we are going to learn a new topic called as page layout customization. Amina, this is your duty to remind me for this topic. We are going to learn a new topic called as page layout customization. Moreover, I need you to observe few more things. पहले बात तो ये हो गई, चलो ये हो गया. Now why we are going to learn the page layout customization? पहला point, तो पहली necessity, we have created 15 fields. But I can see only 5 mandatory fields and all non-required fields, all non-mandatory fields, they are not present here. Now to bring them all that 10 non-required field onto this particular page layout, onto this particular page, I need to learn something called as page layout customization. This is the first necessity. Second, if I go to account object, see how does account looks like. If I go to this account, अरे कितना खूबसूरत है ये. I can see that fields are arranged in the 2 columns. Even the fields are partitionized into several sections: account information section, address information section, address additional information section, description information section. If I go to the contacts and I click this new, again the same thing. I can see how beautiful it looks like. The fields are arranged in the 2 columns. They are partitionized, they are divided, they are segregated into few sections. Few sections they are segregated. And how does my interfaces looks like? Rubbish. All of them are arranged in the same column, no partitions, no sections, nothing. All of them are arranged in the same columns, same column, same single column. All of them are arranged. And how does it looks like? This is why, to make this to be look like good, to make this to look like more attractive, to make them the fields to be available in the 2 columns, to partitionize the field, to divide the fields inside the several different sections, we are going to learn page layout customization. Second point. Third point, what are the different ways to make a field mandatory? What are the different ways to make a field mandatory? Point number 1, by clicking that checkbox required. Point number 2, now write down this. Point number 2, using the page layout customization. Using the page layout customization, you are going to learn how to make a field to be the mandatory. So if you have created a pick list, qualification, you have created a pick list, example, qualification with the schema builder, and you don't get this option to make this field to be the required. Why? Because in the schema builder, there's no option. And in the IDD is what mentioned. But now what? Now what? Rather deleting this, and making this field again from this standard navigation. The second way, make this field a mandatory from page layout customization. So we are going to learn this also. There are so many things that are going to be that you can do with the page layout customization. What you can do? This is the list. We can add the required sections. We can define the tab key orders. We can specify the number of columns, 1 or 2. Field should be arranged in the 1 column or the 2 columns. We can specify the page modes. We can arrange the fields inside the columns. We can move the fields from one field to another field, and we can make a field to be the required or mandatory. This is also is done by the page layout customization. We can remove the unnecessary fields, unnecessary sections, and we can add or remove the related lists. All of these many are the functionalities that we are going to learn with the page layout customization. So there are so many things we are going to learn with this. So Monday is essentially an important lecture. Please don't miss it. Okay. Now let me first stop the recording and